I don't know what the rules are. You guys are one minute it's like, oh, here's my kids' names, and then the next minute it's like, don't say where I live.
We're tired of the rambling. So here's the Dads Talk Soccer, where they actually try to talk about the match. Emphasis on try. It's Cory Smith, Ryan Ballard, and Nathan Grimm. It's City Dads. Let's pretend they know ball.
So the game just got over.
Yeah.
Not great. Not great.
The result was not great.
The result wasn't great.
There were some positives, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, scoring. Okay, so I don't get to talk from a position of, because I haven't watched every City game. It's got to be the most scoring chances. Just I don't know how you quantify a scoring chance in soccer. If there's an actual within this range or whatever. But just in terms of purely feel, it felt as though that they at least had as many scoring opportunities as they've had in a game this year.
But I imagine the statistics will back that up. Yeah. I bet you that's the highest XG they've had this season.
So then this gets into the conversation that we had during the game, which is that a good thing or is it a bad thing, or probably the real answer is it's a little bit of both?
I think it is a little bit of both, and I'd say it's mostly positive. You're at least, how long have we been bitching and moaning about just nothing positive? So you are at least making chances, but you're gonna, if you really dissect this game, most of your XG came from two chances where you had multiple shots on target at close range. The Klaus Watts Hartel misses, then the Klaus volley there. I think is probably
even on Watts' goal. You had another.
Yeah, and Watts' goal, which was pretty much point blank.
So
second chance. So
yeah,
you did have a lot of chances, but
it's so evident.
It's like you had a lot of offensive rebounds. It's great, I guess, but you also missed a lot of shots to get those rebounds, right?
With Baumgartel and Kessler in there, actually, especially the first half, seemed like we were progressing the ball up the field without two strong midfielders.
That's one of the common threads, at least of the Melberg era, was possession and how tilted the time of possession was. I'd be curious. I didn't see the metrics, but it certainly felt as though City possessed their fair share in this game, which is again a positive. Losing the game, regardless of the actual way it turned out, which was brutal in itself, but losing the game is not good. But I think that there are things that you take away from it. You can say that last week's game was whatever, dead cat bounce or new coach bump or whatever, and you can kind of hand wave it away. I don't know, even in a loss, going to Portland and playing that game, I think might be actual more positive, maybe more positive than negative.
You had them for most of that.
Yeah.
And objectively, absolutely, 100%, they are I don't know why. I don't have the why yet, but they're absolutely a better team in a 4-back system. Critchley in the 4-back the last two games has worked much better. That's a competitive team. That's a competitive team. That's all you're asking for right now.
Yeah.
That's progress, baby steps, super early, new coach, whatever. But
did you say dead cat bounce?
Yes.
Dead cat bounce.
Dead cat bounce.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Okay.
Right?
Fake player. Will you Google anything? Are any of these colloquial terms real?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Dead cat bounce is a short-term temporary recovery because it's based on the morbid notion that even a dead cat will bounce if dropped from a sufficient height.
It's like the idea that a bad team fires its manager or shakes up in some way, and then gets a little. It's like, oh, this is, and then they continue to go. It's like down, and then whoa, up a little bit, and then more down.
You know how a dead cat bounces.
Who among us hasn't seen a dead cat bounce? It's so crazy to that, just basically the way that everything is played out, but that, as you talked about, the 4-back system is showing some sort of results or some sort of signs of life. And why did it take this long for it to happen? Why did Olaf never like stumble into that? Like, we should try something different.
So 2 points is he kind of did.
Okay.
They played a 4-back a couple times in portions of games, and it was abysmal. It was terrible. They were horrible. They were leaking goals like crazy. They're I don't know what was happening, but they were not. He was not training them to be in a 4-back system, I suppose, and so it was new to them. I don't know, but he didn't really give it any real sustained attempt. He was a 5-back guy. That's what he wanted to do, and I think that's why he got fired. That inflexibility, that rigidity to just not even try a different tactic, I think is why he was walked out.
You see it like I don't understand, and I can't speak to it because there's so many different variables and things we don't know. But it's such a like, I'm not a soccer guy, but it's such a universal concept. This like, you fit your scheme. I guess you could go down one of two paths. You could try to fit your scheme to the personnel that you have, or you could try to fit the personnel you have to the scheme that you want to run.
I think great coaches always play to the team they have. I think that is the universal law of great coaches. They go, well, this is what I got, so we're going to make the best of this situation and do that. And bad coaches are like, well, this is how we run the I formation. This is what we do.
Yeah.
I had to play man-to-man against Sean Livingston when I was in 7th grade. Like, could we not play man defense? Could we not? Could we try something different? This guy's going to the NBA, and it's me. I don't. This is going to end well.
You got him.
Yeah, you got him. Go get him.
Just play harder.
Yeah.
Outwork him.
Yeah.
It's
so dumb.
Listen, okay, so
You just got to be tougher.
Yeah.
I live between Litchfield and Hillsborough.
Don't give too much away.
And Hillsborough, I have. We've gone to a couple Hillsborough football games over the years, and they insist on continuing to run this like triple option thing, right? And it's 2025, and all these other teams are passing the ball over the field on them, and they continue to run this like, triple option, 3 yards in the cloud of dust thing, and they get crushed. And I could understand, this goes back to the personnel thing, maybe you actually don't have a kid on your team who can throw football with any sort of, but I find that hard to believe that you haven't stumbled into it.
Ooh.
Wait, I didn't get to deliver my actual take. We got sidetracked. The hot take about the handling of basically everything that's happened since that first season with City. I'm actually sort of shocked that nothing came out in the wake of the Bradley Carnell firing that was like could explain it off of the pitch. That there was some like he and management, but whatever. Like that there was something besides performance, because how are you firing a guy after doing what he did in his first year and then having like a second year that was just like probably a lot of regression? You don't. I say that I'm not a soccer guy because this is universal to sports. Is that I know other sports, and you can't like. If you make that decision to fire Bradley Carnell after the season that he had in their inaugural year, and after having a few bad months in their second year, you can't make that move without having a better answer than we're going to install someone and then we're going to figure it out and we're going to land on this guy that we don't know is actually an upgrade. That's crazy to do that. You only make that move if, to tie it into like local, the local hockey team. You fire your coach because you know that Jim Montgomery is available and that he's going to be an upgrade.
It speaks more volumes of the top down. It is unstable at the top. I don't think they're making the right decisions. It's also has bred a impatience to the fan base. Are we just going to fire a coach every 6 months? What are we doing?
And you are also undercutting yourself, because the next guy who comes in is going to say, God, they fired Carnell after like a few bad months, after taking that team to the top of the table in his first year, exceeding all expectations. They fired Melberg after a few bad months, which, fine. But like, why this job is going to become unattractive to people because they are concerned that they are going to not get a fair shake because of how these last couple coaches have gone. And it's just, it's insane that they fired Bradley Carnell, who's now having success at another stop, and did not have a succession plan in place that was, okay, yes, we know that we fired this coach who had an incredible success, but we've got someone in mind who's going to take us to the next level. It's crazy.
That's the camera. Bradley Carnell will never win an MLS Cup.
Okay, but
the rest of your statement is all absolutely 100%
again,
accurate. But I don't care about Bradley Carnell.
That's fine. To relate it to hockey again, the Knicks just fired Tom Thibodeau, and the talking point of people who are fine with it or who are trying to explain it away is that he's the coach that gets your program up to a certain level. But
yeah. He's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And
so that's fine. That's what Bradley Carnell is, like a guy who can get you to relevance or to get you to whatever, but can't go above that. But one good season, I don't think was enough to go well, now you've pulled us up out of and now thank you for your service. We're going to go, it's
we're more into center backs.
You had more time. You had more time. To let that happen. You could explain that away as well, we really performed over our heads in that first year. This was just natural regression that was coming. And then you can figure out who that guy is and really not lose anything. It's just been it's from the outside, it's been an epic sort of mishandling of the coaching situation.
It's upsetting that this is the beginning of this franchise of going oh yeah, you're hoping for a Doug Armstrong to be there already, to be oh cool, maybe because there was ties between the Blues and this and how they build organizations. There you go. Oh, maybe we're going to install somebody who's going to be really great at building systems and doing these things. And it doesn't feel like they've done that. And that's what sucks. And I think Critchley is the de facto guy, and they hope he has a strong success, because I wonder how attractive this job is.
Yeah.
But if Energizer Park's packed every week,
right,
it's probably still an attractive job. It's probably still very attractive.
And Caroline Kindle Betts is saying, you show me who you want. That's what this is. The next coach is going to have a shopping list. These are not his players, right? I don't know if it's Critchley, I don't know if it's whoever, but the next coach is going to want different guys for his system.
Yeah. And
that costs money. So I don't know what she's willing to spend, but that plays into a lot of what's, how do people want to come to City? Well, what's the purse strings look like? What's your checkbook?
Do you think Olafson has any interest in third tier USL? Third tier.
I think he might play third tier USL. He'd probably be the best center back in the league.
Player coach?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know if we need him coaching, but he can play. I've seen him play. What about coaching?
That's it for this week's episode of The Dads Talk Soccer. Not as bad as I expected. Still bad, but charmingly bad. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to the show to get the full episodes where they've been known to lament collared kids, rank their favorite gas stations, play fake trivia, and just be dads. You can probably find a link somewhere nearby if they haven't botched the release schedule. They're the City Dads, they're sorry, and they'll try to do better next time.
Solid work, guys. Solid work.